Eggs. Lots and lots of things that you can do with eggs in terms of scientific experiments. You see in front of you two eggs. One of them is a fresh egg. The other one is one that I've kept for a while, and I wrote the date on it so I would know. So this has been almost, 26 days. So it's a little older. And so if you will notice how they're floating, the one on the right, the one on my right, is a fresh egg. Notice that it lays oblong in the water when it floats. The one that has the bottom part, the rounded part, sticking straight up, is an older egg. So if you want to know eggs that you have at home, whether they are fresh or not fresh, then it's obvious you can do an experiment in a bowl of water. Again, you can make a hypothesis about whether it's fresh or not fresh. You can make some conclusions about how it floats. The reason that it does that is that the shell on an egg is permeable. Okay, that's a good vocabulary word to use with that, but it's permeable. And so it, over time, absorbs a little bit of air. And of course, eggs have an egg sac inside of them. And a little bit of that air gets into the egg sac. So as the egg has been around a little while, it will begin to stand on the end because all that air has gone to one end of the egg. So that's why you can tell a fresher egg from a egg that's a little bit older. Now, how long do you keep eggs? Because obviously you don't want to eat eggs that are not good. So any kind of egg carton that you get, unless you buy country eggs, has some codes on the side of it. It has a 3-digit code that has to do with the day that the eggs were packaged. So you know how old that egg is. Now, they start with on January the 1st of the year, then the code will say 001 for January the 1st of that year. The last day of the year, the number will be 365 because that's the last day of the year that it was packaged. So you can tell by that 3-digit code how long the egg has been around. That way you're not buying old eggs or using old eggs. Now, eggs are good for about 3 weeks in the refrigerator if you take care of them, don't leave them sitting out or whatever. But they're about good for about 3 weeks. So you can tell how long they've been packaged, and you can tell how long then that you can use them. Fresh eggs don't peel as well if you're going to make deviled eggs or boiled eggs. They don't peel as well because there's not enough permeation from air in that shell to loosen up that layer, that film that's around the outside of the egg, as opposed to a little older egg will peel much easier because of that permeation of air into the egg itself through the shell. Also on the package itself, there is a letter which has to do with the plant where these eggs were produced or packaged. And then it has a 4-digit number which identifies that particular plant in that particular state. So if there's problems with eggs, then the health department or the disease control people can go back and know exactly where those eggs came from. I know sometimes when you think about things like E. coli, which is a whole nother science experiment or discussion, then you wonder how in the world do they figure out where those products come from. So this is one of the ways that they do that. So interesting to know information that you find at the grocery store about the eggs themselves. Also interesting about how old or how new the eggs are. Last little tidbit of information here. These are both white eggs. Why are some eggs white? Why are some eggs brown? Why are some green and speckled? If the chicken itself is white, then normally the egg will be white. If the chicken is colored, like a brown chicken, a red chicken, and obviously there's hundreds of different breeds of chickens, that's another science discussion. But those eggs are normally brown. There are a few eggs, or a few chickens which lay multicolored eggs like blue or green. Again, that has to do with the breed of chicken and nothing else. Store-bought eggs versus country eggs, obviously the yolk is a different color. If you buy store-bought eggs, the yolk is a lighter color. If you buy homegrown eggs, the yolk is a different color. It's a darker yellow, almost an orangey color. That has to do with what they are fed. That has to do with a whole different amount of digestive systems and how the eggs are produced. Those are all fun facts about eggs. Lots of science experiments that can be done about this particular fact.